Picture this: a fat, quiet janitor who grew up bossed around by everyone. He was always made fun of in school and had very little friends. Imagine this person has been working since he was 6 years old and never wanted to do anything out of his comfort zone and is very introverted. He was abused at home by his dad, and when he went to school, he was racially discriminated against. When you think of this person, the first thing you go to is probably a fat, lazy person who's insecure to do anything. This person was David Goggins. David Goggins grew up with his mom and dad in Buffalo, New York. Goggins suffered from child abuse by his father at a young age, which later affected his stress levels, which then led to Goggins developing a stutter.
Anything bad about a person, big-time hustler. He was American. You know that movie with Denzel Washington? He was that, but not that bad.
Right.
You know, he wasn't that big, but that's what it reminds me of. He was that kind of guy. And beat the shit out of me, beat the shit out, out of my mom. There was an incident one time when my mom got knocked out on top of the stairs, and he dragged her down the stairs by her hair.
He explained in an interview that he also developed a flight or fight mentality, and he was very nervous and introverted. Goggins always had a working spirit instilled in him as he worked in an ice skating rink, where he cleaned it throughout the day. He would sleep with his brother in his dad's office, while his mom would work in the bar.
My dad didn't believe in us going to school. So my dad, it was about the business, the skating rink and the bar. So the skating rink opened about 7 o'clock at night, and this is the time I was able to walk. So about 4, 5, 6 years old, 8, 9, and I'd go to the skating rink at 7 o'clock at night, and I worked the skating rink until 10 at night. And then we would scrape the gum off the floors, and we cleaned the whole skating rink up. And then my dad had an office, and my brother and myself would sleep in the office, and my mom would go upstairs and work the bar until 3 o'clock in the morning. And then they cleaned the bar up. So after all that shit was done with, going to school rarely happened. My dad owned skating rinks, he owned bars, he ran prostitutes from Canada to Buffalo, New York. My dad was a big-time pimp, big-time.
His father was extremely abusive to him as a child, which encouraged him to sometimes hit his dad after his dad hit him or his mom, where he was eventually beat up again. He said that there was always something in the back of his head was always telling him that he needed to do something and that he had to get up. But he kept quiet, which is why he decided to turn his life around. Goggins' mother finally worked up the courage to escape New York and move to Brazil, Indiana, which is a small town with around 10,000 people at the time. He was the only black baby ever born in a Buffalo hospital, and he was still one of the only black people in Brazil, where he was then racially discriminated against.
But my mom got courage to finally leave him. When I was about 8 years old, we moved to a small town in Brazil, Indiana, and that's when the real war started for me. And Brazil, Indiana is a small town. Great people, a lot of great people, and I say that because a lot of people get offended. And I'm going to get to the point why they get offended. There was about maybe 10 black families at about 10,000 people in the town. And in 1995, the KKK marched in the 4th of July parade. So this was not everybody was racist. There was a lot of good people. Some of the best people I knew was there, but there was also a lot of racism there. So me being one of the few black kids in that, in that area, it kind of haunts you. I had stuff on my notebook, nigga, we're going to kill you, on my Spanish notebook. They had that on my car, nigga, we're going to kill you. This is early 90s. And so even though I showed it didn't hurt me, it was jacking me up. So all the insecurities I had when I was a kid with my father, I moved into this area here, and it just got worse and worse and worse.
While staying there, the KKK held a local presence in Brazil, Indiana, which shows the true racism that went in there. He once stated that he found, "We're going to kill you N-word" on his Spanish notebook, and at 16, he found his car door had been spray painted on with the N-word. Goggins was very quiet and timid when he was young and was too scared to do anything out of his comfort zone. His grandfather, who he lived with his mother, had been in the Air Force beforehand and had encouraged David to join the Air Force just like him. While in the Air Force, he ate donuts every day and gained an excessive amount of weight. He was also a cockroach exterminator and lived a filthy life. He was fat, introverted, uncomfortable, lazy, scared, and had a bad lifestyle fueled by the trauma and stress of his father's child abuse. When he was in the Air Force, he would eat his donut and watch TV, where he would then go in the shower and watch the TV from the shower, One day, he had seen a show about the Navy and how it changed people's lives. Goggins was extremely focused on the Navy and finished the show. He was determined to get into the Navy and phoned as many recruiters as he could. A Navy recruiter met him for the first time and at least gave Goggins a shot at getting in the Navy, which is all he was looking for in the first place. Goggins was told if he could 106 pounds in around 3 months, he could join the Navy.
I got out of the military, and I started working for a company called Ecolab, where you go around and you spray for cockroaches. And that's what I did. From 11 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning, I drove a truck around to, Cracker Barrel, all these different places, and I sprayed for cockroaches. And every night on my drive home, or every morning on my drive home, I would stop by 7-Eleven, grab a box of donuts, mini donuts, and I had a nice, big, large chocolate milkshake because my last spot to spray down was Steak and Shake. So Steak and Shake, box of mini donuts, and I had a 45-minute commute home. On my way home, listen to the radio, chill out, get home, turn the TV on, take a shower. While I was taking a shower, I listened to the TV. And this particular day, this show came on. I don't know if it's Discovery Channel, History Channel, doesn't matter. It's a show about Navy SEALs. And those of you know about Navy SEALs, they spend a lot of damn time in the water. And my ass did not like the water. And it haunted me on repeat all the damn time. But this particular day, I decided to come out and see what these Navy SEALs were doing. They're going through training, and they were going through Hell Week. And I saw these guys carrying boats and logs, doing sugar cookies, getting their butt kicked. And the class was just going down and going down and going down in size. And it reminded me of pararescue. And I sat there and I felt this big because the program went all the way through to graduation, and there was like 18 guys sitting there in their dress whites, and this commanding officer goes up there and he's talking to them. And he said, we live in a society where mediocrity is often the standard. These men detest mediocrity. And at this time, he was speaking directly to me because I wasn't even mediocre. I was afraid. I was a coward. I lied. I did everything I could to not face who I was.
In his 20-year military career, he served tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. After several of his military friends died in Afghanistan in a helicopter crash in 2005, Goggins began long-distance running to raise money for the Special Operations Warrior Foundation, which gives college scholarships and grants to the children of fallen Special Operations soldiers to compensate for the feelings his friends' family must have felt. Goggins competed in many marathons and endurance challenges in order to raise more than $2 million for the Special Operations Warrior Foundations. In 2005, Goggins participated in the San Diego Pean Day, which is an ultramarathon that lasts 24 hours. He has competed in many marathons and ultramarathons in his life and recalled one time where he showed true willingness to not give up.
I'll go sign up for this race. And the first 70 miles, I'm doing pretty good. And then I hadn't sat down. I hadn't gone to the bathroom. I was drinking Mileplex and Ritz crackers. I was, eating Ritz crackers. So,
elite nutrition.
Yeah, elite, high quality nutrition. So what happens when you're that ignorant and you go out to do this race and you sit down in a chair, your body's done. So I'm sitting there, and when you sit down for the first time in over 12 hours, your body's now going through some metamorphosis. Like, go fucking home, go to a doctor, get some help. But I'm sitting there and I have this urge to go to the bathroom. And there's a porta potty for me, that fucking wall, but I can't get up because my blood pressure's all messed up from my great nutrition that I was on. And so I can't stand up. So I look at my ex-wife and I literally say, I'm going to shit on myself right now. So I sit there and I'm shitting up my back and I'm peeing blood down my leg. And I have 30 miles to go. And I ended up finding a way to get through that 30 miles. And when I got done with that race, it's the worst pain I can't even describe the pain of that last 30 miles to anybody. No one, it's very hard.
Whole body?
Whole body. So when it ended, I'm literally dizzy going up my stairs to get to my house. I have my arms wrapped around her going up the stairs, and every flight of stairs I have to lay down because I can't stay upright for too long or I'm gonna pass out. So I finally get in the house, and when I get in the house, I'm once again on the floor. I'm in the kitchen on the floor, just laying there. I finally make it to the bathroom, into the tub. I get rolled in the tub, and she puts the water on me. I'm just laying there with the water coming on me. And what I pee out looks like Coca-Cola. I'm shaking, I'm jacked up. And all I could think about was, I can't believe what I just done.
David Goggins' mentality is one that not one person in the world can replicate. He has shown that anything that life throws at him, he will come back and prove that he is the world's toughest man. Goodbye and
Stay hard!